Mike is good. I mean, it is beautiful out here. We're smoking cigars. We're enjoying the good life. I'm Mike. He's Louie. This is the Horse Racing Happy Hour. Good. There it is. I got to do one.
There you go.
I don't usually get to do that.
First time for everything.
That's right. I'm no longer a virgin.
Everything.
All right. So it is Belmont weekend, which, you know, we can say the Belmont is, but, you know, it's Met Mile weekend. It's Japer weekend. It's poker weekend.
Little Acorn weekend. Little Manhattan weekend.
I mean, this is.
How about that?
Louis,
just the Saturday.
Is it blasphemous for me to say that this might be my favorite card? I mean, this might be the best card we've seen all year already, but
it's better than the Derby card.
Like usually, right?
No, like this one is.
This one is, yeah. But like normally.
It can be.
You
depending on the Met Mile, and the Met Mile is loaded. So
and I'm actually very happy that the Belmont has, and I think we're going to see this, honestly. I think we're going to, we used to see like the Belmont, if there was no Triple Crown, kind of be like a little bit of an afterthought, but the spacing just works out better. And I think we're just going to see really good fields for the Belmont. And you know what? I'm excited about it. It's going to be a good weekend.
I think it's going to be an amazing weekend.
Yeah. So we are here live from the back porch, bringing you the horse racing.
Backside to the back porch. This is the horse racing happy.
There it is. We've got one big race that we want to showcase from last week, from the last weekend at Churchill Downs. I guess we need to talk about that a little bit, but before we do that, I think we were both shocked to see Rattle and Roll come off 2 weeks and look as good as he did.
The thing is, I've been told by various people in the horse thing that no horse can run after 2 weeks, Mike. They can't do it. And certainly they couldn't do this, Zach.
Show us.
Medina, Mask Parade, and Rattle and Roll are stuck in behind a wall of 4 horses as they hit the top of the stretch. They turn for home, and Call Me Fast comes powering off the turn, takes the lead and wanders to the rail. Rattle and Roll trying to shake loose down inside. Happy American is rolling down the center. Santine and Barber Road were in tight. It's Call Me Fast in front. Rattle and Roll continues to rally. Happy American on the outside. Here's the wire. Rattle and Roll.
Rattle and Roll.
More like Call Me Second Fastest. Huh? Huh?
Oh my God.
Julia Leperoux. How about that?
Rattle and Roll adding to the Pimlico special win with the big win there in the Blame. I don't even know how.
Blame.
Oh. I don't know if anyone else gets that reference or not.
Gets that
reference. Oh, hopefully they do, because are we going to see you know how Belmont had the big A at Belmont, or the Belmont at the big A? Are we going to see the CD at the big E or something like that, or little E, little P,
CC at the PP?
I don't know. I think I got something in my eye. All right,
don't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, Rattle and Roll looked absolutely amazing in that race. 2 weeks, and listen, you can besmirch the 2 weeks rest all you want, but the reality of it is that. If something bad would have happened to Rattle and Roll after 2 weeks of rest and on that track when they've announced that they were going to move the meet,
the thing
would
here
not
is,
have been good.
I mean, McPeak comes out and goes, I don't care about my win percentage. The horse is ready to run.
Mm-hmm.
He was right.
Mm-hmm.
Period. End of conversation when the horse was ready. And so if he's ready to go and the purse is what it is at $225K, you go run the horse. And pick off $125,000, $130,000 purse. No, good for them.
Yeah.
They look great. And by the way, he's stuck behind a wall, as Travis was totally correct, by the way. Call Me Fast swings over to the rail like IRADs on him, and and he still rallies around him. No big deal. So no, very, very impressive show. We were there for that Pimlico special.
Yep.
About as good a finish as we're going to see in person.
Absolutely.
And as good as some of those
I thought
bricks and mortar finishes. We thought he lost it.
We thought he lost. Yeah, you're right.
For sure. And so really, really impressive to come back off the short layoff there. And good to see him pick that off for Kenny McPeak. Yeah.
And then what I think is probably a legit true grade 3 field. I thought that was a good field. It wasn't a list of stakes. I thought that was a grade 3 field. So, big win. Round and Roll. Let's see if we can keep it going, getting that Blame. Now, we won't see racing at Churchill though for the rest of this summer.
Bad for me. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that one hit hard. Actually, it hit harder than I thought it was going to. It's and I get it. People around the country kind of taking shots and having fun with it, but I don't know. I had my episode with Sherv on Friday. I know you didn't listen to it.
I did not. That is correct.
What are your takeaways, though, from the movie?
Honestly, I thought it was premature. I don't think that they were able to really make a legit connection to the track condition to the horse injuries. Is it coincidence? I don't know. I think there's a whole lot of stuff that could be going into this. I think it's a bigger problem than just what's going on at Churchill. Or maybe it's not that big of a problem at all, and it's just the reality that we're going to have about 1% of horses are going to die, and that sounds cold. And but
well, one out of 1,000.
Yeah, 1 out of 1,000. Sorry, 0.1%. Yes, and they're just kind of they kind of come in waves. I mean, we haven't had this kind of wave at Churchill in a long time, and maybe it was just one of those things that the numbers kind of catch up with you after a while. But I mean,
at some point,
I feel for, I don't know.
Feel for horse people.
I feel for horse people a lot because running at Ellis is not running at Churchill. There's a lot of people that had big events scheduled at Churchill Downs that get canceled, which is not the main concern.
Feel for the people who had 3 more weeks of work at Churchill.
Yeah,
work inside, take tickets, they serve drinks, they're doing food service, they're janitors, whatever it might be. There's tons of people, man.
I talked to some people in the turf club. Like there's a group of people. There are about 20 people that go to the turf club every freaking day. I mean, it's their country club. It's their family. They hang out. They see each other during the holidays. I know this. I've been invited to that holiday party before, and they were telling me that Churchill's not refunding their turf club stuff. They're allowing them 2 guest passes for the September and the November meet for them to bring every day to the turf club.
So I'm of the opinion we've had 1 training.
Can I just say that there's no button for like required besmirchment? That was required besmirchment. Like,
don't worry, we'll besmirch when necessary.
Yeah.
The part of this too is 1 training injury that was unfortunately a Derby contender.
Yeah.
So it's very, very public. But since then, no training injuries.
Nope.
Just breakdowns during racing. So my sense is we're probably racing the wrong horses because trainers don't put horses out to train unless they're sure they're going to be fine. And we've saw over and over and over again that these are actually injuries during races. And
so we didn't ever really get to see those provisions that we talked about last Thursday to see if they were even going to work.
I thought they were really excellent too.
And especially that first provision where, we weren't going to get starter bonuses anymore. And so, which I found out someone who is a horse owner told me that those only go to the trainer.
Yes. So
those starter bonuses, the trainers for sure are going to race those horses even if they're not ready, just to get that starter bonus, or if it was questionable or whatever else. And we never, as my favorite basketball coach on ESPN radio says, we never got a chance to let the cake bake, right? So
Hubie Brown,
he doesn't host on ESPN radio.
Yeah, we never got to see the effect of those.
We never, yeah. And so I feel like it was a stretch. I think it was an overstretch that they're just worried about making sure that they win the public opinion, And
the announcement comes after the market closes on Friday. Churchill Downs is a publicly traded company. How much do you think this came from the boardroom rather than from inside of Churchill Downs?
I think there's a good chance that that's probably true, because then people forget about it as far as like the people on Wall Street forget about it on Monday.
We need to be realistic about what Churchill is. It is a building built for 2 days a year and then for every 4th year for Breeders' Cup. That's what the actual building is for.
Sure.
Okay. The giant 150,000 setup is for 1 day a year. That day is come and gone. Moving to Ellis now hurts their handle, but it does not hurt what they did over that weekend, which was a record handle, by the way.
Sure.
And had 150,000 people.
And it probably has a minimal impact on their handle.
Boom.
I mean, at the end of the day, because the handle, we know what happens.
I don't know how to bet Ellis. I don't think I'm going to try to figure it out, but that's where we are. I got 13 weeks, 11 weeks of that instead of 8 now, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, come on, Kentucky Downs. You can get here sooner than that. Come on. Figure it out. Go bet a medal.
Well, I mean, go up to watch races in Indiana, right? So there you go.
I'm betting now.
That's what you're doing.
That's where everybody's betting now. They're doing like $3.5 million on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Everybody's betting up there now.
So the big winner is Rachel and Eric and all the people.
Well, and here's the deal. Not a single claimer was carded for the Churchill Downs turf meet.
Okay.
So, of course, all those horses are going to head up to Horseshoe. Where you get around on the grass, you run there, you run to Belterra, you run to other places.
Brad Cox, for example, loves going up to Horseshoe.
He does.
I mean,
serious operation.
He'd probably rather take his horses to Horseshoe than to Ellis.
I don't know the answer to that, but he's got a big setup up there for sure. But
the purse is still transferred. The Churchill purse is still transferred to Ellis. So
yep. So for the next 3 weeks, that's a must travel for sure. But no, I mean, I get it. People around the country and whatever else, but like, me, like Friday, get down at noon, go watch the early pick 3, right? Head across the street.
Well,
from
you
where I
love
work.
you love Stephen Foster Day.
Stephen Foster Day. I'm not driving to Henderson, Kentucky for that. I'm just not going to do it. So, in case people are wondering, our next road trip is the Indiana Derby, July 8th. We'll be up there. Big Is is coming to town. We'll have Issel with us, and so look for the 6'9" man and say hi. There you go.
The 6'9" old man.
Issel's quite old.
He is old.
Yeah, he's quite old.
He's enjoying his bougie seats at the Denver Nuggets playoff game. So the whole series he's on courtside?
No, he did not go on Sunday.
Okay.
I think his next seats are behind the bench.
The struggle is real for Issel.
Who's got a better than Issel? Nobody. That's right.
Yeah.
A little NBA pension, little wife making him coffee in the morning. I don't have those things.
What do you think it is going to do to the Stephen Foster field? Like, what is your
It's a grade 1 and it's a lot of money. Nothing.
Right now, this is what they're saying is the projected field. Okay.
Rattle and roll.
Rattle and roll.
Yeah,
He was looking like he's going to be
Someone
someone
like
to
a
deal
pretty
with.
tough classic horse at this point, frankly.
What maybe? Right? I mean, let's see how he progresses. Rich Strike,
okay.
Last Samurai,
okay.
West Willpower,
yep.
Art Collector,
okay.
Smile Happy,
wow,
and Proxy.
I would take that field tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a good
great.
field.
That sounds great.
So,
especially for the middle of the summer in Kentucky. Yeah, right. Not a Saratoga field or anything?
No,
definitely take that. That'd be great.
So rattle and roll with that win. That is his third straight grade stakes win, third straight grade 3. So obviously the Foster's a little bit step up in class. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So
especially the configuration at LS. So they'll figure it out. They'll get it together.
Any Foster's mile and 1/8 or mile and 1/4?
Mile and 1/8.
All right, so he can go that distance. That's his roll.
Correct.
That's how he rattles. That's how he rolls.
Yeah, the only issue with the Breeders' Cup Classic is the 10 furlongs, right? Is trying to go that extra full furlong for him, full 2, I guess.
Would you think he'd be better suited for the mile or for the Classic?
At Del Mar?
Yeah.
He may as well go to the Classic because it's 2 turns either way.
Right.
Right. So if we were at Churchill, I'd talk about 1 turn mile with him.
He's never, well, I take that, like looking at his like
mile the 16th, mile
16th mile is his roll, yeah.
Now, to be fair, he wins Pimlico Special at a mile 3/16.
Yep.
So he only misses the Classic distance by a half furlong.
And the Ben Ali was at 3/16 at Keeneland.
Yeah, right. So I mean, he's won those races, so it's not like he can't get the Classic distance, in my opinion. I think we've seen it from him, and I get it. Those are grade 3 fields. We got to remember though, in Kentucky, the purses that come along with a grade 3 field look like a grade 1 in California.
Just so we're clear, because we talked about our Indiana Derby trip, Rattle and Roll finished 7th in last year's Indiana Derby, and that is, I mean, there are some serious horses in that race that we continue to see run and have careers. Mr. Wireless is still running.
Yep.
I mean, and we saw him, it feels like forever ago. So,
and frankly, the Indiana Oaks, Interstate Daydream ended up being a fine filly too, right? So we get good horses out of that side as well.
All right. So
last year we were up there. I was bringing up to you the other day. Ivar ran in a turf race last year on Indiana Derby.
It's a good day.
It's a day where you'll see a lot of things, especially you run $100,000 race, people are going to show up.
We're not going to spend too much more time because we got a lot of races to handicap. We are going to talk all Belmont Stakes card. This is just Saturday with 9 graded stakes, $4.85 million in purses. And really, to me, this is kind of the launching pad for going into like Breeders' Cup season and making sure that, horses are positioned where they need to be for that first weekend in November at Del Mar, where the surf meets the turf.
I'm wrong. They're at Santa Anita this year.
Santa Anita. I'm sorry. You did say Del Mar.
I did. Santa Anita is still a 2-turn mile.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
all right. Let's go ahead and start with the start of the pick 3. This is the grade 2.
By the way, before we handicap, just real quick, I did want to say, do you have a thought on the Triple Crown this year? Obviously, the Forte scratch of the Derby disappointing because you don't want the favorite to scratch out. Number 1. Number 2, we get Mage to win. I thought a very deserving Derby winner.
Sure.
Nothing, comes out of the Florida Derby second, wins the Derby. That's a pretty normal route to the Derby through the Florida Derby. Can't quite get it together in the Preakness 2 weeks later. That actually makes a lot of sense as well.
I think National Treasures, though, it's just a really average horse.
Okay.
And
do we think you think we find that out Saturday?
Oh yeah, he gets crushed.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. My bold prediction for the Belmont Stakes is that National Treasure.
No National Treasure on the board.
Now I'll go no National Treasure on the board.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not ready to throw Forte out with the bathwater yet because I think he's so much more talented than the rest of the 3-year-old class. This still looks like it's probably Tapit Trice's to lose if I had to go with a pick right now.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that. We'll get there, but we're going to start with but overall, you asked my thoughts about this grade 3 class, this 3-year-old class. Obviously, the 3-year-old fillies have been extremely disappointing. And
unless we get an Acorn winner, that's a repeat from the Oaks, right? I mean, unless we get that bounce back.
Well, just because they're better than all the other
because then she would put her. Well, I just don't know how good the group is. What we didn't get that we're used to is that transition from your 2-year-old to 3-year-old. We're used to that on the filly side.
We are.
We happen to not get that this year. We happen to get way more of it on the male side, which is unusual, recently at least. And so for me, at least, I'm not mad at the filly side. It's just it hasn't been as productive as it usually is.
I mean, both previous Triple Crown races, the horse that won, that was their first stakes win. So that's disappointing. I mean, no matter how you say it, I think it's just disappointing. So I'm hoping that the Colts do a little bit better job than the fillies have, and maybe we see some late developing Colts that really kind of
Haskell, Travers. I mean, we got time still.
I'm telling you, I still think Forte could still be a force to be reckoned with in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Look, he wins the Belmont, he wins the Travers, and he's rolling toward the Breeders' Cup. He's going to win 3-year-old of the year.
Yeah,
he can still do that because he's already got graded stakes wins earlier this spring.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna start, like I said, with the Grade 2 True North, $250,000 purse. This is for 4-year-olds and up. 6.5 furlong sprint here at Belmont. Who do you like in this one, Louis?
Look, Elite Power's back. This side of things. This is one of those chances, Mike, early in the sequence. If you want to get value, you play against the horse coming back from the Arabian Peninsula, right? Now, everything that Elite Power has done recently tells you Elite Power is going to win this race on Saturday.
Are you fascinated by Strobe? Because this is the up and coming sprinter, right? So, what do you think about it? Could Strobe even give Elite Power a run for his money?
Absolutely. But we're talking about a horse that lost to something named Skelly by open lengths last time at Oaklawn Park. Of course, that sets up a nice layoff for Brad Cox here. It's a horse that's run 3 straight 100 buyers. If I were looking somewhere that wasn't Elite Power, I would actually look inside of today's flavor with Manny Franco and George Weaver. Won last time out over Sloppy Go and Aqueduct. Before that, won at the Aqueduct Surface 3 times. I always, and Mike knows this, the Long Island tracks, I consider the dirt tracks to be very similar. So if a horse is good at Aqueduct, I trust that will translate to Belmont as well, the deeper, more sandy surface. And so that horse, to me, gives you the best chance, because even in a loss in the Carter in a grade 1, that horse only finished within 2 lengths of the lead there with Doppelganger, with Repo Rocks, with very good horses. Repo Rocks is running in the Met Mile.
Yeah.
We're talking about a horse not having to run against that kind of group. So if I was looking for an upset here, I would trust Manny Franco, who rides in New York all the time. I would look at the 1 here for value if we're going outside.
The last time Elite Power lost, who won that race?
Strobe
won.
There it is. Okay.
So I'm going to be fascinated to watch
no
that.
Lasix for the first time.
Right. Yep. So no Lasix for in this race, but would you consider singling Elite Power in this race in the sequence?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's going to be pretty.
But that's going to be common. So in other words, if you want to hit the sequence, play it for a little bit higher of an interval, right? Like $1 ticket rather than a 50-cent ticket, that kind of thing. But if you want to get value, you go against Elite Power in this spot.
But today's flavor, maybe, we talked about it with Pete, right? Pete Cummings. Yeah. No. Yeah. Pat. Sorry.
Patty Breakage.
Patty Breakage. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry,
totally had a little brain fart there. I've been working really hard this week. That's all I'm going to say. Today's flavor, maybe that win place bet. That might be a good spot for that.
Because I think you're going to get every bit of 5-1. Because it's George Weaver, it's Manny Franco.
Oh, you might get better than 5-1 because
Manny does not get it right. Because Elite Power might chase the 2 to 5
yeah.
on the number, right? And then Strobe's going to catch a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Because of Brad Cox. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we're going to skip the 4th race, and we're moving on to the poker. Did you all ever remember Zach? You might be. Well, you're not that much younger than me. The Big Johnson shirts.
Zach's older than me.
Yeah, but he's not older than me.
Right.
The Big Johnson shirts.
Of course, we remember Big Johnson.
You mean the ones that everyone in high school wore until the principals were like, "You're
actually going to say that you knew people that wore
suspended.
South Carolina hats that said Cox."
No.
Yes, exactly.
That must be a Michigan thing. All right, so
or the Furman University hats that just said "FU."
But my favorite one was poker in the rear, liquor in the front. You know, that was,
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the grade 3 poker.
Appreciate you elevating the show.
Mile on the turf, 1 turn mile here with the little kind of weird chute thing that goes at an angle. $200,000 race, 4-year-olds and up. Who is your pick in this one, Louis?
I went 1, 7, and 2 here. Shea Pierre is the even money favorite here. I think totally deserve it. With Flavien Prat has won the Maker's Mark Mile last time at Keeneland. That was over a true 2-turn at Keeneland. Doesn't have to do that here, and I think the chute will play just fine for this horse who had previously run in France at shorter distances, but seems to have stretched out just fine. I actually think the 1.5-ish turn here is gonna suit well for what we try to do here. Arnaud Delacour and Flavien Prat, obviously, teaming up here. Don't do it very often, but they are 2 for 5 lifetime together, including a win on this horse at Keeneland last time out. His horses win back-to-back at 28%, so I do think the horse has a really, really good shot here. I went 7 outside next with Filo di Ariana. If you wanted the Italian option here, you would go with the 7. Back-to-back grade 2 turf wins at Woodbine last year. Brought him off the layoff on a synthetic sprint here last time out, I think just to get his legs underneath him. Mark Cassidy, very good off the layoff here. So 4-1 with that kind of horse. If you were looking for someone else, might be a really, really good play here. You get Luis Saez, the two of them really, really productive together at 15%. And so if you were looking for someone other than the one who I do think is the most likely winner here, I would look to the 7. That would be Filo di Ariana.
All right, so your Anaconda don't want none?
Unless you got buns.
5 horses, Anaconda. All right, so
Emrati, the 2 is an interesting add here too, because it is a Chad Brown off the layoff. Good luck predicting that.
The grade 2 Brooklyn, a $250,000 race. This is a 1.5 miles on the dirt, but this is for 4-year-olds. This is not the 3-year-old kind. So this is like the Belmont distance, but for older horses. We see next in this race. Who do you like in this one?
So I landed on the 2 here. Red Run, 6-1. Mike Maker, Tyler Gaffalion. Lost by a neck first time trying the distance last time out at Churchill. Love the idea of this horse knowing the distance now, getting run back at this distance, hoping that we'll see a better race out of him here. Is going to be a stalking type, which I really like. So Tyler can set up his trip the way that he wants. I'll trust Red Run here, who they've been working at the Churchill Downs training track. Mike Maker, real good in these kinds of races as well. 20% with dirt, 17% going routes here. So I trust him in this spot. So I landed just a little bit of a price there. I went to the 8 next, and that's Lone Rock. Lone Rock has not won this year. He's 0 for 2, but did run second at Oaklawn Park earlier on. Brandon Matt Murphy, really disappointing. Almost like he didn't run last time. Finished up the track by 23 lengths. And so I'm completely drawing a line through that, hoping we get back to some of that form from last year. He won this race in 2021. So my hope is that we get some of that form back. And so we'll see him back at Belmont, where he's never missed the board in 3 runs. Does have a 100 speed figure. His highest of his career was in this race 2 years ago, hoping that Lone Rock gets some of that back. I went to the 7 next, which is Warrant, the favorite here, Flavien Prat. Won that race at Churchill. But if I'm getting 5-2 on that horse, I'd rather get Red Rock, the 2 horse, Red Run, who finished right behind him at a 6-1 kind of number. So that's where I landed. Those would be my top 3 in the race.
All right. Well, we're cutting right through it, man. We're going right on. Now, this is a race that I traditionally just really love. That we're getting into the grade 1s. And the Ogden Phipps is year after year for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. This is usually a great race. We see search results coming back. We got Secret Oath. We got Clairiere. Are you going outside of one of those 3?
Let me look at my notes, Mike.
Who is Ogden Phipps?
In fact, I am going outside of those.
Oh, you are?
I am. I don't know who Ogden Phipps is. Go ahead.
Ogden Phipps, I remember, was involved in that movie, in the movie Secretariat, and I remember when Penny Chinnery had the coin flip. It was against Ogden Phipps, and Ogden Phipps chose the other horse that was not.
Oh no!
Yeah, but he's just a renowned horse owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pass the champagne's on top for me here for Fego Lynch and George Weaver. So won last time in the Ruffian, going a mile over this. We're going an extra 16th of a mile at Belmont. This horse won on Derby Day at Belmont in the grade 2. She beat Idiomatic, who came back and dominated this past weekend at Churchill Downs. So I am hoping that we get a little bit of that form. We see that Idiomatic came out of that race really well, ran really well over the dirt at Churchill Downs. I'm hoping that past the Champagne 8-1. I think you're going to get every bit of 8-1 on this horse.
Well, those other 3 are going to take so much money.
So much money.
I mean, you might get 8, 9, 10-1.
Of the other horses, though, I do think Clairiere is the best here. She has won it at Belmont before. She won the Phipps with a 106 speed figure last year. So maybe it's just her turn to come back and win this race again. If you're looking for another horse, Played Hard is the 5 here. I love this horse in this spot. Ran in the La Troyenne at Churchill Downs. She only beat horses named Secret Oath and Search Results in that race. So if she's got another one of those in her, I think she can do it. John Velasquez rode her for the first time last time out. They seem to work really well together. That was at a mile and a 16th. Guess what we're doing here? We're going a mile and a 16th. I think she's either going to be the lead speed in this race or she's going to be right there. I think between Played Hard and Pass the Champagne, you could get some real value in this race if those other horses simply don't show up.
Listen to the last 3 winners of this, the last 6 winners of this race.
Okay.
All right. So last year, Clairiere beats Malathat, and Search Results comes in 3rd. Latruska beats Bonnie South, and She Dares the Devil.
God.
She's a Julie.
Jeez.
Midnight Bisou, Abel Tasman, and Songbird. That's the last. I mean, this is elite company if you win the All.
This is the grade 1 of grade 1.
Oh yeah, this
really is.
This is the Breeders' Cup Classic. Well, this is the distaff. Well, yeah, it's the distaff. Yeah, and if you really want to know more about Ogden Phipps, which I know you do, because he's totally Zach's kind of guy. All right, because he went to Harvard. His grandfather was the 2nd largest shareholder at Carnegie Steel. You know, he's a tennis champion.
That sounds like how Zach grew up.
That's how Zach. That's Zach
Yeah,
right up. That's 100%. Right there.
I appreciate you bringing that to the air.
Yeah, no problem. All right. The Woody Stevens, another great grade 1, 7 furlong sprint. Of course, 1 turn that stretch at the Belmont seems like it goes on forever. Louis, who did you settle in on that?
I love General Jim right now.
Yep.
Wins the Swale, gets a little bit of time off, comes back, wins the Pat Day at Churchill, going a mile. In this spot here, luckily, he gets to go 7 furlongs over the. Excuse me.
Are you surprised
over
by
the dirt course?
Are you surprised by his number?
Being 7-2?
Yeah.
That it should be shorter?
Yeah.
No. I think this is a good field. I think Arabian Lion is a real hard one to figure out here.
He is.
How well is he gonna how well is he gonna run here? Is a reasonable question. Before I got to him though, I went outside the 13 and the 12. Drew's Gold is in this race, 13 horse, 8-1 under for James Chapman, in smaller barn, smaller operation, lesser known jockey, less runs, but this horse is an absolute murderer. 4-for-4 lifetime, has won at Belmont in a listed stakes, going 6 furlongs. Only needs to go 1 more. He's never gone this far before. Just put in a bullet work at the end of the month there. And so I think he's probably in really good form. I think that 8-1 number. This is Son of Violence, and he's Triple Crown nominated, right? So once in a while we start to see these horses pop up this time of year. This is the Pat Day Mile of Belmont Day.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. This is their Pat Day Mile. Drew's Gold, I think, is an absolute problem. Man, Gilmore's in that 12, and I don't know what to do with that horse. 12-1 has only won once, only broken his maiden. I get it. It has finished 2nd twice and 3rd twice. So that horse, 5 runs, hitting the board out of 6 total runs. The only time that horse missed the board was, I think, his 4th run, and that was in the Battaglia at Turfway. And he hit the board there. What am I? Oh, no, a 2nd run. Okay. So I just trying to figure it out with this horse. He's kind of been all over the place. He's run at Del Mar, Los Al, Golden Gate, Turfway, Aqueduct, Churchill Downs. They run him 6 different places. Gonna bring him back here. Ran a decent enough race, 3rd in the Pat Day Mile. Can he jump back up here at 7 furlongs rather than having to go that mile? He's 0-for-1 at the distance, but did run 2nd in the Bay Shore at Aqueduct. If he likes the surface, 12-1 is a really fair number, and you get Irad, man. So that might be a play there as well. So
Irad's pretty good in New York.
I've heard of him, but I'm trying to figure it out. But that's essentially where I landed. Those 4, I went 4, 13, 12, and 3.
Some former winners of this race, just because I like to do that. I think it's always kind of fun. Barron won this race in 2014.
Byron did, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hog Creek Hustle, who was about as good at this kind of distance as there was in 2019. And Jack Christopher is the one who won this last year. So we've seen some decent horses come out of the
is Jack Christopher the what if horse of last year?
Probably. That feels right. He's the –
he was rolling this time.
He was looking really, really good. Really good. All right. The Jiper. Or Japer.
Japer?
Jiper?
Your mom?
I'm not sure.
Got it.
All right. This race, what do you like here?
Well, lots of people. I'm just kidding. Caravel's in this race. So let's like Caravel.
So Caravel here.
So she's here. She's
3-1, by the way, on that too. Man, I love that.
Against the boys, 3-1 would be great. If she gets her trip, she wins. Costa Creed's here. He's shown well before. Has won at Belmont before. If you're looking for someone else, nothing better than 9. Last time out, lost by a nose at Pimlico in the turf sprint behind a Beer Can Man.
Okay.
If that horse wins that race, I don't think he comes in here at 8-1. I think he comes in here at like 5-1, but he loses by no. So all of a sudden, of course, he's 8-1, right? I love the move to Manny Franco. He's won on this horse before at Aqueduct going 6 furlongs. Here we're going 6 furlongs on the bougie Widener turf course, which we love. And so by we, I mean me. And so
I love it. No, I love the Widener.
Yeah, Widener's our guy.
Yeah.
And so I think he's absolutely one to watch here. The 5, Dr. Zemph, I don't know what to do with, but that horse finished behind Shapier, who I think is a single, behind Modern Games last time out at Keeneland in the Maker's Mark Mile. Obviously didn't want to do the 2 turns. We get back to a shorter distance here. Last time the horse did that, romped at Gulfstream Park going 7.5 furlongs. So I think this is a horse that you got to watch. Obviously with Flavian and Chad, you got to watch as well. So I think you use Caravelle and you move on. But 12, 11, 9, 10, and 5, I didn't even talk about Big Invasion here, who is
Creed,
1 for 2 this year. Finished behind No Balls last time at
No Balls
at Churchill. No one was beating No Balls.
They was.
Yeah, that horse was flying. And so it's either Caravelle or you grab a bunch, and that's essentially how this race is going to go.
Yeah, I kind of Coppola draws in. I kind of don't mind Coppola there either. So Japer, the horse, was the champion 3-year-old in 1962. Won the Withers, the Travers, the Gotham, the Hopeful, and the Belmont Stakes. That's who this race is named after.
So really didn't do anything.
No, it's kind of disappointing, I guess.
Yeah.
Costa Creed won this race the last 2 years. So there you go with that. So Costa Creed going for the 3-peat, probably not going to happen. It's tough to do to win something like this 3 times.
Yeah. It's supposed to be.
Yeah. The 10th race is the Met Mile. And I know for both of us, this is like a race that we circle. Like this is
no question.
This is huge. And we get to see Cody's Wish coming back here.
Well, this pick 3, the Met Mile, the Manhattan, the Belmont.
This is as good a pick 3
as it gets. Yeah. 100%. Yep.
Now I'm excited because I really want to see Zandon step up here.
Okay.
Now I think Zandon could really pressure Cody's Wish. Cody's Wish is on a whole nother level, though, as far as it goes with this group.
Sure.
This is the mile, of course, Met Mile. $1 million, grade 1. Who do you like to challenge Cody's Wish?
Okay. I like Cody's Wish.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Be clear about that. Repo Rocks here, man.
We've talked about that horse already today.
The 7 is here. But Repo Rocks 4-1. Interesting that they're going back to Silvera here, which I really like, actually, to keep him in the mountain here for Jamie Ness. Won at Belmont last time, going that mile, did it in $1:34. That's a winning time in this race. So I'm interested to see if he can run that back. Did run a 1:10.5 furlong in that race as well. So it was a recent thing. Has won 3 times at Belmont. And if anyone's going to pick off the champ, I think it's Repo Rocks. I think that's the second play here. I don't know what to do with White Avario. And it's not because I liked the horse last year.
Love him so
no.
much.
But literally, he's a neck away. If he wins the, oh my gosh, why am I forgetting the race he was in?
The last one, he was in.
If he wins the Cigar Mile, we're talking about him very differently, I think, here, right? Because that's an Aqueduct. It's a mile. It's the 1-turn mile. We're talking about the 1-turn mile at Belmont here. Dude, I don't know what to do with him, but Doppelganger is 20-1.
Yeah.
And that's a horse that if everything falls apart up front, Doppelganger's going to be there. He's going to run in like 5th place, and most of the time in this group, he's going to be 5th, 6th place. You're going to get heavy on Toledo.
20-1 coming off a grade 1 win.
Won the Carter, by the way, at 7 furlongs.
Which we just talked about.
Pulling away, okay? And overtaking Repo Rocks, okay? I mean, it's the Maryland connection here that I think is hurting his morning line here, rather than the fact that he actually just won the freaking Carter. And so it'll be interesting to see. He's won 3 in a row. You want to bet against Brady Russell? I don't. I'm not in that business.
Now, we know that the Met Mile typically has some just like superstar power. So Flightline won this last year. Pretty good horse. We've seen Matoli, obviously, Vacoma, just Frosted, Honor Code, Palace Malice, Shackleford, just this Ghost Zapper. I mean, this is an unreal race. The depth in this year's Met Mile might be as good as any we've seen. I mean, this is a deep field.
As good as we've seen. What was the Matoli year?
All right,
that race was loaded.
Matoli beat McKenzie and Thunder Snow.
That's loaded.
That's loaded.
That's low.
Yeah.
But I hear you.
Yeah, this is
I hear you.
by my standards lost to Silver State in 21.
Okay.
So, but this
But Reaper Rocks is a grade 1 winner, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got Doppelganger is a grade 1 winner. White Abario is a grade 1 winner.
Zandon is a grade 1 winner, right?
Zandon won the Bluegrass.
Yep.
Grade 1 winner.
And the Penn Derby.
Okay, you make a good point.
Yeah. I'm sorry, he came in second in the Penn Derby.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
But he won the Bluegrass.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
you're making a good point here.
It's a good solid field. So
And Slow Down Andy is
coming back.
has hit the board in 2 grade 1s.
Yeah.
How about that? So there you go. Yes.
All right.
Dr. Scheibel is a grade 1 winner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Crosby. There you go.
There you go.
Jeez, okay, you're right. Never mind.
It's a
Withdrawn.
solid
Very
solid
good
field.
mile field. Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the 1.25 miles on the inner turf course, the Manhattan.
Oh.
Because it's on the Widener? Is that what
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. The Resorts World Casino in Manhattan, grade 1, $750,000 purse. Who did you land on here, Louis?
The 4 Ottoman Fleet, I think, is going to win this race. Bill Buick's in town to ride. Ran a 102 last time at Belmont, going 1.1 miles. In the Fort Marcy grade 2, has won both of his starts, or his first start, in North America. This kind of layoff in the U.S., Charlie Appleby has won 5 of his last 9. The 2 of them have combined to win 6 of their last 12. I don't think Bill Buick is in town to lose this race. And so I think the 4 is about as strong as I feel about a horse is Ottoman Fleet. I think you know exactly where I'm going next, and his name is Red Knight at 8-1.
I love that.
That is a horse at
I
this
love that
distance
right
is
there.
2 for 2. You get
Tyler, yep.
I don't think Tyler's going to move too quickly with this horse, but I do think he's going to keep impressing. Who is texting me so much right now?
Do you need to check?
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
All right.
I don't care about anyone that much. And then
you are married with kids.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Up to the Mark is the 8-5 favorite here. I would take Ottoman Fleet at the same number and bet him before I bet Up to the Mark.
Up to the Mark, who came in off the Turf Classic win at Churchill.
Yes.
But, yeah, this is another really good field.
It is a good field and has never gone this distance. And so I will lean on an Ottoman Fleet who is 2 for 4 lifetime at the distance, running in UAE and in Great Britain, and then comes over here, immediately wins a grade 2 in the Fort Marcy, picks up Bill Buick here. I'm going to lean on that team. So I ended up 4-6-8 here.
Okay, now we're going to move on to.
Do we want to do something fun?
Let's do it. What do you want to do fun?
How about Bell Yeah or Bell Nah?
All right. Except I think you got to say a little more attitude.
Okay.
Bell yeah or Bell nah.
Bell Nah.
All right, so we're going to go one by one.
Go one by one.
All right, we're going to start then in the 1 hole. This is the Belmont Stakes presented by Naira Bets. Grade 1, 1.5 million, 1.5 miles on the dirt. The last leg of the Triple Crown, the only one that I've not been to now. We're going to start with Tappet Shoes. In the 1 spot, 20-1 with Jose Ortiz aboard. Brad Cox is the trainer. He is obviously a Tappet with Awesome Flower as the dam. Has got 1 win in 2022, is 0 for 3 in 2023, but it's hit the board twice. Are we doing just straight wins, or are we doing hit the board? This is a horse that I think could hit the exotics.
I agree with that. Any Tappet can hit the board, as far as I'm concerned.
Any Brad Cox, Jose Ortiz connection could hit the board.
I agree with that. Yep.
Jockey trainer there
So
at
Bell,
25%.
Bell Nah to win. Bell Yeah
to hit the board.
to hit the board.
Yeah. All right. Tappet Trice is in the 2 spot with Luis Saez aboard, who is, again, took that spill that we saw live and has been running ever since. Of course, this is a Todd Pletcher entry, stablemate of Forte. Came in 7th in the Kentucky Derby after winning his previous 4 races. And, this is my pick. So this is a Bell yeah.
I'm also Bell Yeah
Yeah.
on this. I agree that he should be the favorite
Okay.
for many of the reasons that you said.
Okay.
Yes.
The 3 horses.
This is the classic Pletcher Belmont horse. This is it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Run the Derby,
this is what he
run an OK
this is what he
Derby,
wants, right?
Take the time off, tap it, ready to go. This is it. Yes.
All right. Now it's time for the Italian pick of the day. You got Arcangelo, which Arcangelo at 8-1 is the 3, the winner of the Peter Pan. as is 3 for 2 or 2 for 3 this year. He did lose to King's Barn. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a weird thing. So this horse trained by Jenna Antonucci, and the breeder is Don Alberto. Man, I'm loving all this.
This would be the first female trainer to ever win the Belmont.
This is an air gate. We don't have many air gates. He didn't have a whole lot of progeny before he passed away.
This is the chance.
This could be it. So he's, is this a Bell yeah or Bell nah?
Bell yeah.
Bell yeah.
Absolute Bell yeah.
All right, love it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep.
This next one's going to be a Bell nah for me for like I already mentioned. Baffert comes back with National Treasure after winning the Preakness 5-1. Horses. That's he's got to win, and he's got a third place in 2023. This is the horse that I don't think we're going to see hit the board. So this is a Bell nah, but for you,
it's a Bell nah for me, but only because of the distance. I think he comes back. I think he wins a bunch of races in California.
I don't disagree with that,
and I think there's a chance they figure him out as a 7 furlonger. I think he can come back and do that. And no, I think he's actually I like him more than other people do. I think.
Okay.
But I do not think he wins on Saturday.
All right, my boy Antonio Sano has got the 5-horse Il Miracolo 30-1. This is a Bell nah for me.
It's a gun runner, but I don't see the speed.
Right.
I don't think he's fast enough to win this race, especially with the quality that we're going to have. So he's a Bell nah for me as well.
All right, the 6-horse. We get to see the return of Forte after getting scratched from the Kentucky Derby. The horse is 2 for 2 as a 3-year-old, was 4 for 5 as a 2-year-old. Pletcher's horse here, man. I mean, this is it. He did race one time at Belmont and won that race. That's where he broke his maiden in his very first race ever. A lot to question here with Forte, but I believe that Forte is the most talented horse along with Tapit Trice in this 3-year-old class. So for that reason, he is a Bell yeah for me.
Mostly just for gambling purposes, I am a Bell nah for Forte. I understand the motivation here, especially for the Rapoli folks. But first off the layoff, going the longest distance he's ever going to run is a nah for me.
10-1 on Hit Show, the 7-horse Brad Cox's entry here. Man, this is very intriguing to me. I would not be surprised. I don't think this horse wins. I would not be surprised to see if he had a monster race and stepped up here and won. I do worry a little bit about the distance on this horse. All right. I'll go Bell nah. Bell nah.
Bell, yeah. He's in the number 2 spot for me. I love him in this race. He ran an underrated Derby having a break from the 1.
Yep. Absolutely. Came 5th. Yeah.
To finish 5th is a big deal out of the 1. Keeps Manny Franco here. He and Brad Cox, very, very good together, 23% in a very reasonable sample size of 69 nice races. And so I'm interested to see him come back here. That Wood Memorial just felt like he had to do too much. So he breaks from the outside, and then he gets in a 4-horse tussle. I think before that he showed, especially in the Withers, where he went the 2 turns at Aqueduct, I think that he showed that he can do this. And so I'm gonna say yes on him. I'm gonna say Bell yeah. We've seen Candy Rides kind of do everything.
Sure.
Look who Mom's by.
Yeah.
So it's Tap It on the bottom. So
Tap It on the bottom.
Damn right, Tap It on the bottom. And so I think that
Actress is the dame's name.
Yes, yeah. I'm a yeah here. I'm a Bell yeah.
Okay, I would not be surprised. The 8-horse is the 3rd place finisher in the Kentucky Derby, the winner of the Arkansas Derby, Angel of Empire, who I think is absolutely built for this race.
Totally.
7-2 is the number you're going to get on Brad Cox's entry here with Flavian and Pratt aboard. He is an absolute Bell yeah for me.
He's a Bell yeah for me as well. And I think that for the reasons that you mentioned, another horse that ran a very good Derby.
Yep.
Right. Finishing 3rd in the Derby
it was kind of besmirched going into the Derby.
No question.
Yeah.
Up to almost 1.4 million in earnings already. Son of Classic Empire, so he's amongst the cheaper horses in this race, believe it or not. But I agree with you. I think that he's built for this. I actually think they've been working him to this point as well, and so I think that he'll run a big race.
The 9.
And by the way, blinkers on is an interesting angle here, but one that I think could be really effective.
The 9-horse is Red Route 1, trained by
Asmussen.
There it is. Steve Asmussen trains Joel Rosario is aboard 15-1. Listen, I I would love to see Red Route 1 close and win this race. He's going to need a really big pace up front. But at the end of the day, I think this is a really good grade 2, grade 3 horse, and he's probably outclassed.
Asmussen.
Probably Bell not a win, but Bell, yeah, to hit the board.
I would agree with that.
I think he's the kind of horse that's just going to plod along and get himself into third place.
But we had Bell Yaz on a lot. There's a lot of horses here that we wouldn't be surprised to see who wins, and kind of it's going to be interesting to see how this 3-year-old class kind of separates out and goes forward.
Yeah.
Do you really the older horse, Belmont or Breeders' Cup Classic challengers? I think who's getting the Foster and all that stuff. Art Collector, all those horses. It's not like overly intimidating,
Sure.
So one of these horses develops. Would you be shocked to see a 3-year-old win the Breeders' Cup
this
Classic?
year? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a fair point. We haven't seen Taba back stateside yet,
Right.
so he's got a chance if he can pick off a couple races in California and really look good. Maybe at Del Mar, where we'll go. Okay, that's a 4-year-old that we really like.
That's
obviously
who
Rattle and Roll is showing his gumption. If he rolls in the Stephen Foster, for example,
right.
he moves into a new class as well, right? And so he's done nothing wrong in the last 3 races, but they're not against the kind of company that you would want for a Breeders' Cup Classic winner. And I agree with you on that. And so I think that it's really Taba that I'm waiting on to see him back this side of things. Because remember, Breeders' Cup's at Santa Anita, and that's Baffert's home territory. And so his horses are definitely going to be ready to go.
Taba not scheduled to run again until July 29th in the San Diego Handicap.
Yep.
That, if you remember, is who I boldly predicted after the Breeders' Cup Classic, immediately after the Breeders' Cup Classic, was win the Breeders' Cup Classic in 2023. So I'm with you. I'm cheering for Taba. So,
and by the way, Louis' look ahead this week is Belmont.
Louis' look ahead.
I did every single race.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and go clean it up a little bit, but races 1 through 13, got picks for all of them, and so we'll make sure we'll put those up at First Gen. If you haven't checked us out on there, firstgensports.com. Our buddy Jay Davis
killing the NBA coverage.
Doing NBA coverage. So if you're watching the finals and need any coverage of that, he's doing that already. We're launching college football on July 1st, so we'll have that as well. And of course, all the horse racing stuff you could ever possibly want. I'm doing look aheads for every Saturday. My look at a card around the country, and this week, of course, will be at Belmont Park.
Speaking of the finals, the Panthers are already on the board in the NHL finals here, up 1-0. I have actually. This is one of the few hockey arenas that I've been to. I've seen the Florida Panthers live in Miami. It was a long time ago, but
they have moved to Sunrise. Have you been to the new stadium?
No.
Okay.
No, this was a while ago. Yeah, but I do love watching hockey live.
Hockey live is different. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, Zach, anything you want to add in? Zach?
I won't be here next week, so I know there's probably 90% of our listeners listen because I'm here. So just letting you know.
Well, then why would you announce that and just kill our ratings?
I'm just telling them they need to continue listening.
Are you going to Disney?
Yes.
All right. Well, say hi to DeSantis for me, okay?
I always do.
Ed Sherva, he's nearby.
You should take Sherva's. You should take Sherva's dog a steak. Take him, but take him like a crappy strip steak and watch him turn his nose up at it.
Yeah,
because it's not.
Sherva hasn't even bought me a drink yet. I think I bought him food once.
Sherva the dog. Which one?
No, Sherva buys his own dog food.
Right.
Do you remember we're sitting there? Oh no, you weren't there. We're at Preakness. I think it was 2 years
and
ago.
he DoorDashes the filet.
DoorDashes filet to his
Yeah.
dog. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's living, man.
I'll tell you.
You know who doesn't do that? This guy.
No, that is another level of bouginess that I don't even comprehend. So, thanks for listening. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Have a great Belmont weekend, and we'll catch you next week. This has been the Horse Racing Happy Hour.